Welcome to another edition of It's All Relative. I'm Josh.
And I'm Timothy.
And we are back with episode 22.
22,
moving right along.
Yes, sir.
How you been, bro?
I've been good, brother.
Good?
Life is good. Everything's easy. It's nice. Everything's well.
Nice.
That's all I can say about it.
Yeah. Our summer has been moving right along.
Yeah, it has. It's hot as
hell,
too.
It's been super hot, but super rainy.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of
thunderstorm and rain.
Yeah, I feel like the whole month of July is almost over and we've barely seen any sun.
Right.
So, a little different.
Yeah, it's a little different, but, it happens every so often. Right.
But everything else all good?
Yeah, everything is good, man. I'm starting to take a little bit more of a foothold into social media and using YouTube as well. And it's actually kind of fun. It's fun when you avoid politics.
Yes.
So as long as you avoid politics, like social media can be real fun and it can be real interesting. You can learn a lot of things. You meet a couple of people and you get to hear like a lot of different takes on the world. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right.
Social media is a powerful tool.
Yeah, it is.
For sure. And also very informational.
Very, very.
Can get a little nasty at times.
Yeah, definitely. Of course.
But like I said, it's definitely important. Definitely important to be involved in the social media.
Right.
Just to be able to stay up on, things that are going on,
And just learning about everything. In some cases, you get the news faster on social media than you do the actual news. Like, especially when the death is involved, they're already on top of it.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, all right, let's move on, bro.
That's good.
Today, we're going to address a few events or issues that are or have been going on in our world.
Okay.
All right. At times, it may get a little opinionated, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Not everyone out there is going to agree with how we feel. And even at times, you and I may not agree with each other.
For sure.
And that's all right.
Yeah.
The only way we are able to break down borders, stereotypes, etc., is by communicating and listening.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
So I want to start with Sha'Carri Richardson.
Sha'Carri Richardson.
Are you familiar with the name?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So she is an American track and field sprinter.
Okay.
Okay. She competes in the 100-meter and 200-meter sprints. She is the 6th fastest woman of all time.
Damn.
And the 4th fastest American woman in history.
Okay.
All right. She qualified for the 2020 Summer Olympics after winning the women's 100-meter dash with 10.86.
Okay.
In the U.S. Olympic trials.
Jesus.
All right. Now, shortly before the Tokyo Olympics, she tested positive for THC.
Oh, so she smoked a little bud. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. She smoked a little bud like it's nothing, right?
Right.
Well, Olympic officials suspended her, making her miss this year's Olympics.
Okay. So she's missing Tokyo.
Yeah. Which, right. She's one of the fastest women in the world.
Jesus
She would have killed
Christ.
it. And she's getting suspended. So Richardson, she stated that she took the quote-unquote drug to cope with the pressure of qualifying for the Olympics, right, while mourning the recent death of her mother.
Oh, wow.
Okay. She's young. She's only 21 years old.
Rest in peace to her mom. Yeah.
Absolutely. But like I said, she's 21 years old. She's one of the fastest women in the world. She just qualified for the Olympics.
Right.
Her mother died. She smoked in the state of Oregon.
Okay.
All right. Which the state cannabis is legal.
Right.
In the state of Oregon. All right. So to me, I feel like some of this stuff doesn't make sense. So I want to know your thoughts on it. Do you agree with her suspension?
I think it's bullshit.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's bullshit, but I understand it, but I still think it's bullshit. Because if you think about it, the Olympics is supposed to be international, worldwide.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with each individual country. So something that may be legal in a country or in a part of a country may not be as part of their standard. So what that just means is that the Olympics standards kind of suck because ain't nobody like, what is, come on, it's marijuana, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It's not something that is, it doesn't enhance anything, at least physical wise. And alternatively, some people use it in many countries now just to maintain, just to keep themselves together, just to make it through the day, as you were saying,
Yeah, no, I agree.
Especially when shit like that happens, when your mom passes and you are trying out for like one of the highest honors in our country.
Absolutely.
To go to something international. So yeah, of course there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel that the rules or Olympic officials, they need to change some of these methods
Definitely.
or rules, especially in regards to when it comes to drug testing.
Right.
Because like you mentioned, THC is not a performance enhancer.
No, it's not.
It's not a steroid.
No.
She's an athlete, so I don't understand why people are treating it equally on those levels. Right. You know what I'm saying? Do you support the Olympic Games?
Yeah, I support it. Okay. I've been to many of them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, 2 of them, but many.
Nice.
Yeah.
You want to touch on that at all?
Oh, yeah. So, wow. The first one is very easy to talk about. That was back in 96. So it was the 1996 Olympics in Georgia, where I was living anyway. So it was pretty wild. It was pretty interesting. I was also there for the 1996 bombing at the Olympics.
Yeah, that's wild.
That was scary. I remember my dad scooping me up and running like a motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was wild. But we saw a lot of stuff. We saw like a lot of the games. I mean, a lot of the track and field. We saw basketball, which was really hard to get a ticket for.
Yeah, I bet. That's actually dope.
Yeah, right.
Do you remember? You said this is back in '96.
Yeah, this was back in '96, and the Dream Team was still around. It wasn't like '92 Dream Team, but it was still on point.
Yeah, that's actually awesome to be.
You want me to pull it up on the tangent real quick?
Yeah, I want to know. List off some of the players that were.
Oh yeah, so we can bring up the roster real quick. I know we were talking about something a little bit more important, but here we go. We had Charles Barkley. We had Anthony Hardaway.
Oh man.
Yeah, what right? We had Grant Hill, Karl Malone, Reggie Miller. We had Olajuwon, O'Neal, Peyton, Pippen, Richmond. They basically just put like all the power stars on there. They was like, all right, go crush the other countries. We had David Robinson, John Stockton.
Dang.
You know what I mean? You feel me? So, and it, like I said, it was not 92, so we didn't have Jordan. We didn't have like all the powerhouses there. But this was like baby powerhouse.
That's a hell of a team.
Right.
That's actually really cool to be able to see or to be able to say that you saw some of those people, man. That's dope.
Oh yes. And in particular, my dad wanted to go because of Olajuwon.
Okay.
As we are Nigerian, we got to be all about Nigerian everything. Mm-hmm. So he was all about Olajuwon, even though he was on the Rockets. Shout outs to the Rockets. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was very fun to watch those games. Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And the other one was in 2000. So what was that? If I recall correctly, that was in London, but we went there only for like a day.
Wow.
Yeah. So been to a couple of them. Very fun stuff. Like, especially you would think certain games like archery and such would be boring. Mm-hmm. It is not boring to watch. You know what I mean? Like if the closer you are, because in the benches and stuff, you get to see like the intensity on these people's faces. Like even if it's something like archery or running,
right.
Like they had taken this like crazy serious. So seeing the athleticism from all of that is kind of magical in a way.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Being able to see anything firsthand,
right,
is dope.
Right,
that's cool.
And then there's the added punch of being with like-minded people that are in a certain country. So, like for example, like let's say if you're from Spain, you're Spanish, you're gonna root for anything in Spain, right?
Right.
But if you are also American, you're gonna root for America too. You want America to win, you want Spain to win, in almost anything that's there. Yep. So you get like the crazy fans for everything. Yeah.
That's cool. Are you going to watch this year's?
Yeah, I'll definitely watch. We were supposed to go actually this year. Yeah, before all of the pandemic and everything. But we were going to go to Tokyo and spend like a week or like 2 weeks or 3 weeks there. And we are going to hang out and watch everything. But that all collapsed. So it's all bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that I want to be careful how I word this, but do you think that the games now lack a sense of pride?
It does.
Yeah.
It lacks yes, definitely.
Okay.
Because I definitely remember the 90s and 2000 Olympics, and the pride was there. Even 92, when I watched it on TV, the pride, especially when it was basketball, the pride was there. The pride to play for your team, the pride to even bring home like a bronze medal. You know what I mean? That's like a sense of pride. And a lot of that has been taken away. I think in part due to social media.
Really?
Yeah, I think in part due to social media and like how the news and everything has spread so far. Like a lot of people are depressed about a lot of stuff, man. And so like a lot of the things that you would think make people happy, it doesn't make them as happy anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially within their own countries.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I agree with you on this because I feel the same way. I do feel that the games lack a sense of pride.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not as visible.
No.
Because I do remember being a kid and being younger, excuse me, and watching, certain Olympic games and the feeling that you got, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
it was a well-to-do.
It was pride. Yeah, man. Like it was like back in the day when like, you know what I'm saying? You had, like back in the day when the Yankees would play the Red Sox, when that shit was real, Now it's completely different.
Right.
And
now it's just another channel on TV. It's just happening during everything else.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
A little unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
But I want to get back to Sha'Carri Richardson.
Okay.
She caught a lot of flack for this whole scenario that had happened, but I think it was totally unwarranted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If we remember going back a few years ago, you remember our Olympic hero, Michael Phelps?
Yeah, of course.
You remember the incident that had happened with him? There was a picture that went viral of him smoking out of a bong.
Lighting up. Yep.
Yeah. But I thought it was when that picture went viral. I was surprised, but I thought it was I didn't see anything wrong with it.
Right.
But he didn't go through or
the same
get
thing
the
as her.
shit that she is getting.
Look at that.
All right?
Look at that.
But why do you think? I mean,
well, number one, because she's a woman, for sure.
Okay.
For sure,
agree.
which is bullshit as well, because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. She shouldn't catch any flack at all.
I agree.
Right.
Especially not the amount that she has gotten.
Right.
And it's so unfortunate too, like I said, to be able to qualify and know that you're gonna win. You bring gold.
You bring
home.
a gold home, right?
And then for them to tell you that, you know what, because you smoked a little bud, you can't.
You can't. Right. It's bullshit.
It is. I don't agree with that at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Richardson, she is, like you touched on, she is a black female. Okay. She rocks orange hair.
There you go.
She's got the long nails. She's very flamboyant.
Yeah, so she would have came with it.
Right. She's open about being part of the LGBTQ community as well. All right. So all those factors, that's who and what she is. Michael Phelps, he was, the opposite. I mean, obviously he's a male,
right?
But he's also a white male.
He's a white male. I was just about to say.
He's on the quiet side, not flamboyant and flashy at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He the same way they bring home gold.
They bring home gold. And honestly, that says a lot about, again, social media and the way we perceive things, because it doesn't really matter how she looks. It doesn't matter if she's part of the LGBTQ community, although that is a plus. It shouldn't matter. She's black. It shouldn't matter. She's female. Shouldn't matter. You know what I mean? All that matters is bringing home gold. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
Do we go around and we like chastise people in the NBA or the NFL? And everybody's lighting up these days and having fun. And now they light up and do podcasts and stuff. So are we going to turn around and like start banning them from playing?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Right. It's ridiculous.
Which actually, though, we can touch on that. See, the NBA, though, they have eliminated the whole fining people. They allow you are allowed to smoke bud.
Right.
You're not going to get in trouble. Which other sports teams and whatnot, I think should jump on board and do the same thing.
They will.
Which, same with the Olympic thing, too, because I think this is ridiculous on the fact that she had gotten suspended over this. You know what I'm saying? It is,
yeah. And I will say that there's one final dynamic that is it's probably going to resolve itself, but not for like another 10 years or so, 5 years maybe.
Yeah.
America needs to basically legalize, because once we legalize as a country, everybody else in every other country, they can be like, all right, maybe it's not that big a deal.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the biggest issue that I think we have right now too.
I agree. I believe, or at least I like to think that, or I would like to think that we are in the right direction.
Oh yeah, we're getting there.
You know, so, but, you know, my last statement involving this whole Sha'Carri thing, I would say, I'm just going to leave it at this. I'm going to say Sha'Carri Richardson, if she did not get suspended, all right, she would have smoked everyone.
Oh, of course. Sounds like it.
Even with the weed lungs. And she would have brought home the gold.
Oh, okay.
We would have had multiple golds. You know, I don't know. I don't agree with it. I'm not a fan with the decision. Fan? I feel for her, and I can leave it at that. I support her.
All right, I support her too.
Right.
I support anybody that's an athlete and bring some home for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's switch gears. Let's talk about this whole COVID mess. Okay. But we've talked about it before, so I just want to focus on a few aspects of it.
Okay.
All right. First, us on the East Coast, we seem to be back to normal. Pretty much in regards to people going out, interaction with others has grown. You know, no more masks if you've been vaccinated and whatnot.
People still are careful, though. People still avoid, yeah.
Right. People are still cautious, but it's gotten a lot better than what it was.
For sure.
But I want to know right now, what the hell is going on in Cali? Have you heard or are you familiar?
Yes, I am familiar.
Okay.
It's a circus over there.
Right. COVID right now is on a high rise throughout the state, once again. And it's been mandated that even if you've been vaccinated, you still have to wear a mask now.
Right.
I don't know. How do you feel about that? Are you concerned, or a lot of those people are vaccinated? You know what I'm saying? Why is COVID now on a rise again?
So for one, COVID isn't like 100% magic bullet. So even if you do have the vaccine, it won't protect you. You know what I mean? It won't protect you 100%. It's supposed to be used to deter it as well. And that same thing can be said for many different types of vaccines. Like, they're not going to be 100%. Also, the fact that some of these COVID viruses can mutate. You know what I mean? So it can change ever so slightly every time it's reproduced, that the vaccine won't be as effective towards that new mutation. Or at least that's what I've been watching. Like, I watch a lot of Dr. Fauci. He explains stuff like this. And yeah, it's not going to be 100% all the time. It will reduce it, but it's like on a curve. So it's supposed to go down. Now, add that to the problem of California just being very population dense.
Right.
I think that's the biggest issue that they have. And, you know, people are going to be people. There's going to be like 50% of the people there saying, well, I ain't getting no vaccine. I ain't doing shit.
Right.
You can't make me do shit. And there are also people who are doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's the problem. That's mainly the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, do you think us here in New York, do you think we're going to go through what Cali's dealing with?
I don't think so, because we got on the ball early and the entire world was looking at New York and how we reacted when it finally got here. And of course, you know, there was a bit of a mess up in NYC where they weren't taking it as serious, and we started having like those crazy numbers that we were seeing, partially because everyone was just watching New York. They weren't really counting other countries. So it could have been just as bad everywhere else. But once that happened, your boy got on it really quick. Our governor, you remember, it was almost like he was like,
yeah, no, I do remember
being real serious about it, you know, and being real, you know, like I was hearing of people like getting arrested for like not putting on masks and stuff around here, which is kind of crazy, it being New York.
Yeah.
But we got on top of it pretty hard in New York. And then of course, Jersey and Pennsylvania and Connecticut, they all follow suit. they didn't do that in Cali. They didn't do that even like in Texas or even Florida. So they weren't on top of it like we were. And then, of course, like the South, they didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, I think Texas, too, was one of the states where they basically, at a certain point, a little while back, they all were basically just like, you know what, we're done wearing masks. We're going to do whatever we want. Yeah. And that's what they did.
And that's what they did. And it's sad because it's political. The virus has no political leaning. It don't give a fuck. It just, all it knows is to attack human people. Yeah. So when you think of it that way, like all we need to do is just, if we have to maintain in our area, let's just maintain. And yes, Cali didn't maintain, and they probably had to have maintained a lot longer than us.
Right.
You know what I mean? They should have. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem that they're in right now. So I think it's also kind of crazy if people have to be mandated to use a mask, because it kind of creates like a third problem where you have a mask and now you don't feel like you want to wear a mask. You have the vaccine and now you don't want to feel like you want to wear a mask anymore. That's like the third problem. Like, how can you tell these people that if they don't want to wear a mask, can you really stop them?
Very correct.
Yeah.
That's true. Actually, I didn't even think of that, but that is correct.
Yeah.
Do you think the COVID thing will eventually go away?
Yeah, it will. It will. And it will quite possibly sooner than most think.
Okay.
Because in some places, they're very serious. Like even Japan, like they have never really stopped with their law since they enacted them. You know what I mean? And there's many countries like that. Only ours, we make it like really political. Like every state has to be either on top of it hardcore or against it hardcore. Right. So it'll eventually go down. It'll be interesting to see where it still maintains in our country, at least.
Yeah.
You're right.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
But COVID itself has taught the world a lot.
Yes, it did.
I want to focus more so on the business side or working class of the world.
Sure.
Okay. So nowadays, everything is being done through Zoom videos.
Yes, it is.
Or recordings done on your iPhone, which blows my mind, because where are we going to be at in a few years from now?
Right.
Is that going to be the norm now?
I think so.
Do you?
I think so, yeah.
Now, are you a fan of the way that this process is going? Everything through Zoom videos, or, you know what I'm saying? Everything through...
Like through video.
Correct.
Right. So I think it was going to get there either way. I think we were going to get there regardless. Maybe it wouldn't have been, ASAP. It would have probably been like in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, maybe. But COVID expedited that. I want to call it like a human evolution. We were always destined to get to that point anyways. So it pretty much expedited it. Whoops. But, yeah, it's a different way of doing things. I'm not too big of a fan of it because I like human interaction if I'm going to have to interact with somebody. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's changed a lot of businesses too. Yeah. Yeah.
In regards to the business, it has shown a lot too that, some people's jobs and whatnot, you don't really need to go to an actual physical place and do whatever it is that you do.
Right.
You can do it from home, which eliminates a lot. It also, I want to go and talk about actors or actresses as an example. They no longer physically have to go to auditions.
No, they don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like everything is done through, they create a video of themselves and whatnot, and they send it in.
Or they toss it on YouTube and they send them a YouTube link.
Right. Are you cool with that? Do you agree with that method? Do you think it's better?
It depends. It depends because depending on what you're going for, they need you there. Because sometimes, like whenever it's like a director, from watching a lot of Marvel, I've learned that they need the people there. They want to know how they interact with other actors. They want to know how they interact when given like a specific line that may go against who their very being is, because of course they're playing a character. But when it comes to let's say voice actors. If you're a voice actor, you're not going to show your real face. You're just a voice.
Right.
So it's a lot easier to do something online, send it in as a wave format to your agency, or send it in direct to whoever you're going to be looking at, or talent agency or whatever. And it's a little bit easier, even like doing Zoom calls, for voice actors. Yeah, that would be easier. But yeah, I mean, it's also for music. Some people want you to be there. So I'm on both sides. When it comes to music, like singing, they can get an idea of how you sound over a Zoom call, right?
Okay.
But if you're going to be playing an instrument, yeah, it sounds nice over a Zoom call or over like on a video. But if they're going to hire you, they're going to want to actually have you there to play the music.
Right.
You know what I mean? Same with singing in some cases. They're going to want you there to sing or to rap or, to do whatever is required of you. Right.
Now, what about all of us regular people?
Okay.
All right. When searching or applying for jobs, our resumes, we create resumes, they're put online, and then companies, they search, they find you.
Right.
And they read through your resume, and then boom, you got a job.
Right.
Do you have any particular thoughts on that process? Are you for that? Or are you against it? You don't really...
I'm in the middle. I don't think it really moves the needle when you're like a normal person. You sending out your resume. I mean, it's still the same thing. I think shout outs to people who are actually like using Zoom or doing new things to try and get new people to work in their company. Right. I think that's pretty cool, but I don't think it really does anything either way.
Yeah, I'm all for trying new things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm about seeing where we can go in the future. But I don't know if I'm necessarily a fan in regards to the whole thing when it comes to jobs.
Okay.
But let me tell you why. Just because the actual interaction, like you had mentioned when it comes to the actors and actresses, right. I feel like it's very important.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you physically go somewhere, go for an interview, whatnot, you get some forms of feedback back, but the person also has a chance to see you, to be able to ask you physical questions and to hear how you respond. You know what I'm saying? Right. So they get that face to face. With the job interviews just being online now, I think it limits the individual.
Okay.
Because like we had said, they're just chosen off. They look at a piece of paper, they read through, what you quote unquote qualify for.
Right.
And then that's how you're hired. But a lot of the times, people have different skills, are able to accomplish different things that you might not necessarily be able to write on paper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you're just sending in the resume and they read that, you don't have any footing to be able to explain that to them,
right?
Or tell them or mention it to them,
Well, I will ask you a different question then.
Okay.
What do you think of like for McDonald's or like Burger King or something like a grocery store or something? Do you think that they're still needed there face to face for something like that, like the menial tasks and stuff? I don't want to call it menial, but I mean, you know what I mean?
Right. No, I understand.
Like retail worker.
Yeah. No. Like I do agree. I guess it does depend on what job
right.
it is. For anything though that has to do with interaction with people, even if it is, dealing with food,
right.
or I mean, at the grocery store, whatever. If you have some form of interaction with people, and it was my business, I would want to know that the person that I'm hiring can actually interact with
right,
people,
for real. That's true.
Because, you may look real good on paper, but like when you're actually in front of other people,
right?
You know what I'm saying? If you can't do it, then, I don't want you, bro. So,
then what about the people that are there that still can't interact because they exist?
Yeah, I don't know. That's on the business themselves,
actually,
but. Yeah, no, I didn't actually think about that, but I do agree that certain jobs, I feel like it is still important to be able to go in physically for an actual interview. It helps, Like I said, people often have a lot more to offer than just what's written down,
right?
And the best way to see those qualities in person is asking them questions and hearing how they respond.
Okay.
You know. But we're going to take a quick break.
All right.
But before we do, we want to remind everyone out there to please find us on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, Google, and Twitter.
And Please click it.
And with that being said, we'll be right back.
All right.
So I have a question for our listeners out there. Do you own a computer? Are you having trouble with broken screens, data backup issues, password reset problems, virus spyware removal, software installation issues? If so, Slipstream Repair Computer Electronic Solutions has you covered. Contact Timothy Latunde at 845-204-1712. The email is ss.sho16@gmail.com. Once again, that is 845-204-1712. And the email is ss.sho16@gmail.com. Call or email to schedule a free consultation. It's All Relative. Now, this next subject I want to address has been or become a growing issue. And for me, I'm still not too familiar with it, so I'm hoping you are, bro.
Okay.
All right. Explain what cancel culture is.
Damn. Cancel
to the
culture.
Best of your ability.
So, well, cancel culture is what the words are saying. It's when people, typically on the internet, get together to cancel somebody due to them, in many cases, doing something wrong. It's a way of ostracizing someone from a community. So say, for example, I'm a singer, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I do really well. Also, I want to just mention that it's typically famous people that get canceled.
Okay.
Famous people or people in high places or people big on social media. So I'm a singer and I do really well for myself. I get a large following and, you know, everything goes good. Grammy, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And a little ways down the line, I make a very racist comment. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. Mm-hmm. It can be anything. It's just racist. People will get together and they'll want to cancel you, which means they want to, it's like a way of punishing you for saying something or doing something that people typically don't like. And they will get together. They'll do like hashtags and stuff like, hashtag such and such singer is over party. That's what they call it. Or they'll say hashtag cancel. I mean, like straight up cancel singer. You know what I mean?
So,
yeah.
My fault.
No, you get it.
But what? So like, these are kids? These are adults?
It's everybody. So it's anybody. Like I said, it's when you get ostracized, it's from a group. So in this case, if singer is being ostracized or being canceled, it's typically people that are into music, right? People that are into social media and they pick up on it. People that are like maybe into rap or maybe they're into pop culture. Mm-hmm. And all of them, they gather together. It doesn't matter what brought them there, but they all get together to try and cancel this person. They probably want them, like when you say you want to cancel somebody, like you don't want them on social media anymore. It can kind of be malicious because in many cases, people that get canceled, they lose their job. Like let's say if they're into social media, they get canceled. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it gets all the way to their job, and you know they say, "Yo, we can't. You know, you're not employed here anymore. Get out. Get your things and get out."
Wow.
For some other people, like there's an example, James Gunn. He's a very famous. What I'm trying to say here, a very famous. Producer of movies, of Marvel movies, Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff.
Okay.
And back then in his Twitter feed, they found, film director, they found that he said something that was somewhat inappropriate, like maybe 10 or 12 years ago. And people canceled him because of it. and they were like, yo, James, you shouldn't have said stuff like that back in the day, you know, you're in trouble, you're canceled, we don't want you anymore. So that got so serious that Disney picked up on it, and Disney was like, well, we can't associate ourselves with Mr. Gunn anymore. And so you are no longer employed with Disney. So you can no longer make films for us. So, and this was something that he said like 10 plus years ago. Like, yes. You can easily change or be somebody completely different. I mean, he's James Gunn. Everyone liked him until they found out about this thing, and now all of a sudden he's canceled.
Right. You feel me? See, that shit blows my mind.
Yeah, man.
For something that was said 10 plus years ago,
right,
and for someone to go back and now want to cancel it, because you're right, people change, and people say things all the time that they don't mean,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
And in some cases, people just say something stupid, like maybe when they were a nobody. Like, let's say James Gunn probably wasn't somebody that anyone was thinking about back then, so he was being a little fast and loose. You know what I mean? As we post something, and then maybe we get famous later on,
right?
Or we get a big social media following, and they're typically haters. They're always a hater of everything, and they will be the one to go all the way back to one of your messages and message it out. If they have a follower, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, this dude said this, and he puts it on, and they retweet it, and that shit gets viral." You know what I mean? You get canceled. And then sometimes it's not even something that happened back then. Sometimes it's just something stupid that somebody says more recently.
Right.
Right.
That's mind-blowing, though, to me. I can't believe that people actually do this.
Yes, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, man.
Do you know any other examples of any people who have been victims of cancel culture?
Yeah, sure. One of the biggest ones happened last year, and this was canceling Ellen DeGeneres. Wow. So, yeah, exactly. And this happened because people found out that Ellen wasn't as nice behind the camera as she is in front of the camera. So she was basically a bitch. But a lot of people had already known about this. A lot of people know about like those sorts of personalities. Like maybe they're a little bit snippy, and they're all high and mighty and stuff. They run the channel and all this stuff. And maybe she is. Maybe she is an asshole back behind the camera, but certain people who are no longer either employed with her, they don't work with the show and stuff. They'll just message. They're just trying to talk about like their experiences. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily malicious. It's probably just honest. And in her case, they put a whole Ellen is over party. It turned into canceling. Like a lot of people jumped on from social media, from pop culture, people that listen to stuff like that. And they were like, yeah, you're over, Ellen. We don't want you anymore. You're over. You're done. You're canceled.
That's wild.
It's wild, right?
I can't believe
that
this stuff's actually going on.
Oh, yeah. There was one that happened years ago. You know Harry Potter?
I do.
J.K. Rowling?
Yes, I do.
They tried to cancel her, too. And in her case, she made like a lot of comments that were seen as transphobic. So it was a transphobic post that she made on Twitter. And almost immediately after she said it, they were trying to cancel her. Like almost immediately. And she's a billionaire. The point that I'm trying to make is that no amount of money or popularity or fame or anything can protect you from cancel culture if you do something either stupid or something that the internet just hates.
They go after everybody. Yeah, that is crazy. I actually did have J.K. Rowling written down. And like you said, she had voiced her fears that the push for transgender rights will ultimately endanger women's rights. Right. Was her quote. Right. And like you had said, everybody then all of a sudden now wants to cancel like the books, the movies and whatnot. And like you said, she made money from those series. Like I can't believe that like people do this. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't. They must have obviously they have a serious impact because they do get things canceled.
Yes, they do. And I won't say I'm kind of like in the middle. I'm kind of against cancel culture now, but I'm for the most part in the middle. Okay. The reason why cancel culture can be a good thing. If there's some assholes out there or people that are saying racist stuff, people saying sexist stuff, transphobic stuff, and they deserve it. Yeah, definitely get them canceled because there's also this second mindset now that if you get canceled in a way, you were getting away with stuff before. You were saying all this crazy stuff to your followers. You get canceled now, you're already like trying to correct and say sorry, and you more than likely won't say it again, if even being on the internet anymore. Because some people, they just straight bounce from the internet after they get canceled. You never see them again, at least on the internet. But in some cases that can be a good thing, but some people, they go too far trying to cancel people. They go way too far. And it doesn't give, like, let's say if somebody gets canceled and they want to be better, they want to change. Mm-hmm. It doesn't give them a chance at redemption. You're like, once you're canceled, that's it. And anytime you try to get on social media to say something, they say, "Oh yeah, you were that such and such that did such and such thing." You know what I mean? Yeah, you shouldn't listen to this person. He's a liar. Or you shouldn't look at that person. She did that. You know what I mean? So it's so crazy that when you cancel somebody, it's like almost a permanent thing. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about the one person. So I heard that this, when I heard that cancel culture and whatnot had addressed this individual, this was the whole reason why it caught my attention. Okay. And, I made me want to look into it because I had heard that there were people who were trying to cancel Eminem.
Okay, yeah.
All right. And that kind of pisses me off a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. Like I said, this whole cancel culture thing, man, I feel like the generation now.
Right. It's definitely the generation now. But it's a lot of, think of it more of a social media thing. If you are a part of social media, if you like social media, there's probably a chance of you either knowing people that get canceled or being part of cancel culture itself. Being one of the people in the stands that says, "No, we don't like you." And I'm going to group up with all these other people to say, "No, we don't like you." And we're going to get you canceled.
See, that's where I feel like it's bullshit. There should be, it's cool to be on that line of saying, "Yeah, nah, we don't like you." Or,
right.
We don't fuck with you like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
Why we got to go and try to now start trying to cancel? I do agree, though, with what you had said, though, about people who, do say
some crazy shit,
racist things and stuff. I'm all for it. Yeah, you should, let's cancel that shit.
Get them out of here.
But, I mean, to be so picky and whatnot, like Eminem, man, like if you can't separate the art from reality, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you.
It's very difficult for some people.
It's crazy because now he does have songs about, killing his mother and his ex-wife, etc.
Right. It came from a dark place.
Exactly. But and these songs were made years ago.
Years and years ago. That's it.
Back when people knew, you know what I'm saying? That it was just entertainment.
Right. But back when it was also raw. That's why Eminem is an entertainer. That's why we like him. Because he came, I mean, like when I think of Eminem, I'm like, yo, it doesn't even matter if he was black or he's white. He came from like a place of pain, a place of darkness that some people don't even like to even think about, much less rap about. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And some people love that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do we as people have similar feelings that M talk? And
of course, all the time.
Absolutely.
That's why they're fans now.
Exactly. Yeah. It just, he had the balls to say it out loud.
Basically.
You know what I'm saying?
Basically.
But this cancel culture, man, the generation, people, everyone and everything is just, to me, I feel like everyone is too soft nowadays.
I can agree with that. I agree. Yeah.
I don't understand, like I said, the need to pursue to have to try to cancel somebody or something over pretty much your opinion. You know what I'm saying?
And if you always notice, a lot of the people that take part in cancel culture, they don't have a following at all. So it's typically people that either are just a lot of the people that are on the sidelines. You know what I mean? They watch, they comment. They'll probably get a following being a commentator. You know what I mean? There's a lot of famous people and people that are big on social media, like have a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers. there's a group of those people that just watch those people and follow those people. Like you pick it, like in, for example, I'm big into retro gaming. So all of the big time people that are in retro gaming, whether they've made like modding videos on how to mod a console, or if they've created a video game, or if they were people that used to create them, like for Nintendo, we're all part of that same group. And then you got like collectors and stuff. And all of these people, they're kind of like on the low end. They don't have like much of a following. And then you have like some of the big people, like people that actually work for Nintendo, that work for Microsoft and work for Sony and all these other companies, these big time companies. And all of us, we watch them. And sometimes when they say something stupid, everyone jumps into the conversation. But it's never like cancel culture worthy. I think there's only been like one person that's been canceled. And he actually redeemed himself. In this case, he was a person that he practically got caught cheating on his wife. Okay. But his wife was okay with it because it was an open marriage. Okay. And I'll tell you right now, just about everybody that I know, including me, tried to cancel him. Oh, word. Yeah, literally, because it was more than that. We could talk a whole story about it, but essentially one person on social media basically said that he molested this person when they were young, when they were 16. Shit. So that's the reason why we all jumped on this guy at the time. Come to find out, the person was deleting some of the messages back and forth with this guy. He never did any of that. So he had receipts. You know, when they say you have to have your receipts, that means you have to have the evidence that shows like, yo, I didn't do any of that shit. Right. Or I'm not part of that. And he had his receipts. But I'm telling you right now, his wife had like the largest following of people trying to cancel him. Because this is also a million subscriber YouTuber, or he was. He had like 1.2 million followers. Damn. After he got canceled, that shit dropped down to like 800K. So he lost like 400,000 subscribers off of it. Right. And he had all his receipts. When everybody else gave up on him, he redeemed himself. Nobody was in his corner. And if you were in his corner, they tried to cancel you too. Like if you were a friend of him and everything. Wow. So that cancel, I won't use the name because I don't want to bring up anything like that. Right. But I mean, if you look him up, you'll find him. But he redeemed himself. He got his content is back on track. He's about to hit 1 million again. Okay. He's completely moved on. But even though he didn't do anything wrong, he still gets the flack from people. Like if he makes a post on Twitter, there's like, just like clockwork, there's some people like trying to say, hey, you were this, hey, you're that. And it's like, yo, all of that stuff is unsubstantiated and such. Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like that's what happens. Get labeled like that, you carry that flag with you forever, from here on out. Yeah, yeah. As long as you're on social media, you're gonna carry it with you. And God bless you if you don't have, like, in some cases, like a job, like where they don't care or they don't know. Right. Because when you're canceled, it's even hard to get a job in some cases. Yeah. Depending on the community. Absolutely. I wanted actually to touch a little on that because I feel like one profession or at least group of people that have and will struggle deeply from this cancel culture at some point, I believe, are comedians. Yeah. Oh, they suffer the most. Yes, that's their job. That's what I mean. That's what they do. They get up there and talk shit. Of course, you know? Yeah. And that's why it goes back to what you were saying, that people are soft now. Yeah. Yeah, they can't take, like I said, jokes. No. You know, people can't take jokes anymore. They can't. And it's pretty bad when you really got to walk around and try to be careful and watch what you say. Politically correct. Yeah. At least that's what they say. Yeah. I want to touch on one of these comedians real quick, though. Bill Cosby. For sure. Okay. Everyone should know. Famous comedian, actor, author. Right. Was part of The Cosby Show. Huge hit. Yeah. He was really good at it. Did you ever watch that show? Every day. Yeah. I mean, like clockwork. We were there. So, I mean, he was America's dad at that time. Yeah, at that time. Yeah, absolutely. Super famous man. Right. Right. On October 2014, there were accusations of rape, drug-facilitated sexual assault, sexual battery, child sexual abuse, and sexual misconduct that were all being reported, all right, against him. And some incidences
stretched back to the mid 1960s.
Right.
All right. As we know, he went to prison.
Yeah.
Okay.
Went over there for a minute too.
Yeah. Well, June 30th, 2021, his sentence was overturned and he was released, which was not even a month ago.
Right.
Okay. So he served 3 years. Now, Bill Cosby, like I had seen on social media and everything, that he wants to start some form of comeback tour. Right. I believe that's what he called it.
Good luck to him.
Yes. Now, comedy clubs in New York City and Poughkeepsie say he's not welcome. That they will not be part of this tour that he's going to be doing. The only reason why I bring up New York City and Poughkeepsie is because it's our hometown, home state.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But do you agree with their decision on this? Of not allowing him
to be here?
Yes. To come and do his thing? Yeah,
I agree with it. The only reason why I agree with it is they don't want to bring that negativity to to New York. They don't, especially being in New York. Like I said earlier, everyone looks to New York for everything. So they didn't want to bring that negativity with him.
Right. So you think him not being welcome to places is because of what he was accused for or what he did? You know what I'm saying?
That's the funny thing. I don't think it has anything to do with what he may have been alleged to do. Okay. I don't agree with, I think he should still be in jail, honestly. Okay. But, I don't think it has anything to do with what he did. I think it's a bigger play. It's a play of, we don't want to be known as the state that allowed him to come in and have his comeback tour.
Right. I am curious to see which states or comedy clubs and whatnot across the country will allow him.
And then I'll tell you right now, the ones that only matter is New York and California.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah,
we'll see about Cali.
Yeah, we'll see about Cali.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the saying, though, excuse me, of when people go to jail, when they come out, they deserve another chance?
Okay.
All right. Do you agree with that statement?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, as do I. But do you think it has anything to do, all this, do you think the decisions had anything to do with the cancel culture?
Yes. Yeah. Cancel culture was big on him. They actually came in kind of late because they could have canceled him far sooner, but he is one of the reasons why cancel culture is a big thing. Okay. Like when they got after them, they got after him. Mm-hmm. And I think only like Felicia Rashad, the one that played the mom on the Cosby Show, she was supporting him, and that's about it. Wow. Like almost everybody that he was friends with was against him and tried to cancel him. He had a couple friends, but not many. Aside from that, it's such an interesting thing because I think people have different motivations on why they would want him or not. And it's like, this is like state level stuff. So it's not even thinking about people, in my opinion. They just made like a clear decision to not bring him in just so they could say that they didn't allow him to perform here. Right. Aside from that, I think he has a chance of redemption if he wants to. He's a little too old, honestly.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's
getting up there.
Yeah, he's getting up there. He's close to death's door right now. So, I mean, people hold grudges forever. Like you were saying, some people, they had alleged since like 1960. Right. And they had to keep it to themselves for that long. And this is the reason why I think cancel culture can be an interesting thing, too. Like they're trying to cancel him now. It's he's pretty much dead right now. He's going to pass away soon. Let's just be honest. But they still wanted to cancel him. They made him even see a couple of years in prison and everything. So if he can reform, I mean, he can only say sorry so much. I don't know. Like I said, I would like to see him still in jail, but I don't know if he can get back. Maybe. I don't think anyone cares about him anymore.
Yeah, I think it will take a lot for him to get that buzz again.
Oh, yeah.
If he ever does.
I don't think so. Yeah, he ain't going to get it back.
But like I said, the things that he was accused for were some serious charges.
He was serious enough to put him in the slammer.
Right. And, people do, when people get sent to prison and whatnot for the typical, for like murder or theft or arson, whatever, things like that, people tend to forgive a little easier,
right?
Depending on the level,
right.
But when you are accused of anything that has to do with
sexual assault, rape,
right?
Yep.
And especially with a child.
With the child, that's the big one.
Yeah,
that's a big one. We can't mess with that stuff.
And unfortunately, like we said, even if you are innocent and you're still accused of that you're gonna carry that shit with you for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah.
And
what do you think about the whole Bill thing?
I don't know. Cosby? I do agree with New York's decision of not allowing him, just because of like what we just covered. Being accused of that type of stuff is something that I wouldn't want to be a part of, or at least to show that, like, I mean, because if you allowed him into your comedy club and whatnot, in a sense, you're saying, like, you support him, you know, and it could go along the lines of, like, you know, oh, well, maybe you support the things that he did and whatnot. And just to avoid all that and that whole mess, it's easier just to be like, yeah, we're not gonna fuck with you.
We're gonna fuck with you anymore. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
So, but I mean, yeah.
I mean, and also if you think about it, this was not only cancel culture, but you've heard of the Metoo movement, right? So this was a big Me Too movement. So it was a lot about being empowered by grouping with other people that had also had these things happen. So it's and I think the Me Too movement is actually a great movement, because it gives these women, in some cases men too, it gives them a chance to actually speak out when they couldn't speak out before. You know, they didn't feel the power enough to do so. So I'm all about the Me Too movement, but not so much about cancel culture, for the reasons we said earlier.
Right, I agree. The Me Too movement was very important because it did show, like you said, both women and men. But majority women were women.
Almost, yeah.
And it showed, like, you know, what kind of, I mean, a lot of cases were against Harvey Weinstein.
Right. Harvey Weinstein. Bill Cosby was in there.
Right.
Yeah. But a couple others.
Yeah. It just went to go show, like, what scumbags these people actually were. You know? Or I'm referring to Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, yeah, of course. He was a piece of shit. Yeah,
absolutely. So for him to use his power and whatnot to do all those things to all these different women and whatnot,
and get away with it for years.
Exactly. Like, yo, bro, I'm glad he's still in prison. I don't give a fuck.
Fuck whatever happens to him.
Exactly, dude. Like,
for real. And it's also kind of crazy. One of the reasons why I don't like cancel culture as much is that the original meaning for cancel culture and Me Too movement too was to have, like, systemic change. Like, if someone says something racist, you know, it's big when it's like a famous person or a politician or, you know, someone with a large social media following. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear racist stuff. Come on. Nobody wants to hear that. But the real vehicle behind canceling somebody is to, in a way, show other people that, no, we're not gonna take this anymore. You know what I mean? It shows, like, the power of people that can get together and try to have, like, some systemic change. Same with the Me Too movement. It was the movement is really supposed to be about systemic change. No, you can't take advantage of women. You know what I mean?
Right.
And yes, you are strong enough to speak out if something happened. You can go and seek help because, you know, some of these women were terrified.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's what the real power behind these movements is supposed to be. In cancel culture's case, the meaning is kind of lost because you can go on YouTube and you can see versions of cancel culture where it's all about canceling, like, YouTubers that have like 1 million+ subscribers. And it's always, not always, in one case it wasn't. It's typically over haters, like people that hate, you know, the fact that they have a following, the fact that they're large, they all trying to cancel each other. They trying to dig in someone's Twitter history and say, I'm pulling this out and we're going to post it, retweet it, and we're going to try and get this man canceled. So a lot of, like, the haters, people that are jealous of someone's success, you can see, it's not a lot, but you can see a couple of those types of people filter in. And sometimes those people have large followings to try and cancel somebody, and it catches on. And it kind of makes you afraid. Like, let's say if you're on the come up, if you're trying to have like a social media following, if you know about cancel culture, you're already probably going to start watching your words now, you know, if you're trying to build something.
Right.
And I don't think it should be like that. I think you should be who you are. I mean, obviously don't say stupid shit if you can avoid it, but
right. Be smart.
Be smart. Yeah.
But be real.
Real. Yeah. I feel like you can't be real because someone's trying to cancel you over something stupid.
Yeah. And that's what I don't agree with.
Yeah.
That's the bullshit that I think it's ridiculous. And
right.
I'm really not for the whole cancel culture shit in regards to all
that's
that.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
But it's here to stay.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, it does seem like that because, like you said, it seems like every day. It feels like these people are picking someone new or something new.
Right. And there's something to be said of that, too. There's some people that all they do is jump on, like, the next bandwagon. All right, we cancel him. Let's move on to the next one. Let's cancel the next person. Like I said earlier, some of these people definitely deserve to be canceled. But it's when you have people going back in Twitter history, like a couple years back, you know, that one is kind of iffy. You know, it's kind of bad in some cases. Or if you have like haters that are just trying to cancel people that they're hating on for the week. Some of that shit happens, man. It happens. And sometimes it doesn't catch on. Like I've seen a couple where they try to get someone canceled and like nothing really happens. You know what I mean? Because the truth is out there that they didn't do anything, or maybe it was just something they said stupid or at a point in time where they were like in a dark place, or they were just different.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny though. When you try to cancel something, but you fail.
There's a lot of people out there. Yeah.
All right, we're going to be wrapping it up here shortly. You want to touch on anything else about this cancel culture?
I mean, cancel culture is okay, but it's not okay. Like, you can cancel people, but if somebody wants to redeem themselves, if somebody wants to get back and say they're truly sorry and they really show that they're sorry, you should give them another chance. You shouldn't, you know, you can't cancel them into infinity. Like, how long do you want to like hold them down? Also, the fact that you got to give them a couple of years, like let them prove that they're trying to be a better person. You know what I mean? Or let them prove that they're trying to be more aware, more conscious. They give them another chance. But some of those other people, like the pedophiles and shit, no, they can be canceled into infinity. Yeah, fuck all that.
Absolutely.
Right.
All right.
That's it.
All right. Well, we want to shout out all our day oneers. We want to thank you for your love and support. We see all of you and we love you. Big shout out to our editor, YO, a.k.a. Jackson Wallace.
Shout outs to Wallace.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Also, shout out to Stellar Sound and Media.
Shouts.
Yeah, you know, all I see on social media are people rapping, talking about money for studio time. If you are actually serious and you got skill and need studio time and want a high quality video made up, contact Stellar Sound and Media at gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah, stop talking and go do it.
Go do it.
Yeah. You want to hit them with your social?
Oh, yeah. So for Twitter, it's Retro Show, RetroSho. If you see the Kermit, you know it's me. You can follow. I'm starting to add a lot more of posts on retro gaming and such. A lot of the esoteric rare stuff. And I also have the Instagram that I need to start using. I know I keep saying it. I've been saying it almost a year now. Tunde 2017. TUNDE 2017.
All right. And you guys can always find me at Josh_Toth3. That's my Instagram. And my Facebook is Joshua Toth. Message option on Anchor.
Okay, so you guys can leave a message. I would love to hear some messages for this episode, by the way. On the Anchor app, you can see that there is a message button where you click it. You can leave an audio message. Try and make it between 30 to 45 seconds. You can leave your critiques. You can leave any questions. You can, even if you want to like send us some examples or some topics that we can get into, or examples of topics, you can leave that too. Or if you want to just give us a shout out, or if you want to say that we suck, You know what I mean? You want to say that such and such episode is awful. We will play it live on the air and we will respond to it. Whether we say fuck you or thanks for the shout out is up to you. And that's it. Yeah, send us some messages.
Yeah, I want to hear one person's opinion on any of the subjects that we covered today.
Right, or even any of the subjects previously.
Absolutely, but somebody use the message option.
Please.
You will be recorded and you will hear yourself on the next episode live.
That's right.
Lastly, please find us on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, Google, and Twitter.
Yes, sir.
And that is at IAR Podcast. And by using the platform of your choice, please subscribe, follow, share, comment. Leave a quick review and a 5-star rating on the Apple page.
Yes, sir.
All right, my man. Great job.
Great job, brother.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Stay safe, stay kind, and we'll see everyone soon.
All right.
Peace.
Peace out.
From my dad, like he sent me like the